Now, once this has been done, when the source documents you have, but you know that there will be hundreds of invoices, hundreds of dispatch notes, etc. Now, we need to now bring them into one summarized form into certain books, which is what is called as books of prime entry, where all these transactions from the source documents are then captured into this particular book, thereby ensuring that we have all this scattered information getting at the first level summarized. Now, there will be multiple levels, as we will see, it will get summarized. The first summarizing happens from the source document into various books of prime entry, and the key books which we will see now are the sales day book, the purchase day book, the sales return day book, purchase return day book, the journal, which will be a part of our next session, and the cash book and the petty cash book. So, what are these books of prime entry? The day books are books of prime entry for sales and purchase, which is what the sale, all credits, purchases and sales actually are recorded in the sales day book and the purchase day book. Essentially, credit sales and credit purchases are recorded. Let us look at the format. It is a fairly straightforward format for a sales day book. It is used to list all invoices sent out to the customers on each day. So, we have an example here that on 10th of April, the various invoices that were sent to the customers, the invoice numbers, who were these customers, and what are the total on the invoice. We can further have product wise breakup provided in the sales day book, as in this case, say suits and shoes were sold. So, what are the amount of shoes that was invoiced and how much the suit that was invoiced, the total invoice value and the breakup in terms of products. Remember, in these what we are talking about in today's computerized environment takes a different shape in terms of entering into the forms that are provided by the accounting software, but the details that are captured, the nature of details that are captured are similar, and the nomenclature of the various books that are also maintained are very similar even in accounting software. The purchase day book is for all the purchases that have happened, and you are noting down the various invoices that have been based on the various invoices that you have received from various suppliers of yours. But their invoice number generally is not noted because each supplier will have a different type of information or invoice sequence which you may not be fully aware of, and therefore basically you put the supplier name, and in a computerized environment maybe the supplier code, the total amount. Then you can say what are these purchases that you have made in the nature of your raw material or goods that you are going to resell, and what are the payments or bills you have received in terms of utility, maybe electricity or telephone bills and so on and forth. So, in our example we see these are suppliers who have supplied for purchases which could be for resale or you further use for production, while the electricity bill which has come is for utility, which is also recorded, which probably is the electricity amount either used in the warehouse or the production. So, this is the nature of a purchase day book, where all purchases, all invoices or bills that are received from your suppliers are recorded. Then we have something called the sales returns. That means when you received goods from your supplier, you might have situation that where when you have sold goods to your customer, you may have situations where you have customers returning the goods back to you. Now, this is where, as I told you before, credit notes are sent out. So, whatever credit notes that you are sending out is essentially nothing but amount that you have requested your supplier to reduce and pay the balance of the invoice. These are called as sales returns day book. In our example, for example, 10 pairs of shoes were found to be not in order and were returned by the customer Spencer, and they have been given a credit for 5,000 rupees, saying that a credit note issued saying reduce that amount, pay the balance amount. So, whenever the credit notes are sent out, they are all recorded in the sales return day book. Similarly, when credit notes are received, they are put into purchase returns, where you have as a business purchased and found the quality not to be good or some other reason, and then you have returned it back. In this situation, we see Janaki company, the 50 cardboard boxes were not found to be of quality maybe and were returned, and the value is also mentioned. So, this can be credit notes received or debit notes that have been sent by you as a customer where you have returned the goods. So, these are the various purchase and sales day books that are maintained.